you about my trouble with girls. 3 things happen when they are in the lab. You fall in love with them, they fall in love with you, and when you criticize them, they cry.
Let me tell you about my trouble with girls. My trouble with girls is their erasure.
How many of you have heard of Rosalind Franklin? So we've heard a little bit more about Rosalind. So what do we know about her? Does anybody know?
That's the sound of a room full of people in a lecture about women in STEM who can't quite remember who the woman who showed us what DNA looks like is. My trouble with girls is their reduction to spinsters.
In 1914, so once again, like we're still in the very early 1900s.
To maids.
Initially employed as a nurse as a maid in the New England Hospital for Women and Children.
To wives.
She's mentioned as being Walter Hess's wife.
When these women have contributed so much to their fields.
And Walter Hess's wife, Fanny, introduced the idea of auger. But they never talk about the fact that she was not just Walter Hess's wife.
No, they don't. My trouble with girls is the underestimation of who they can be.
Your SAT was weighted as a female, your English component got more weight than your mathematics component. And that was based upon this idea that women do not have a mathematical or scientific way of thinking.
And the ingrained ideas of who they already are.
What happens if you stumble? What happens if you make mistakes? Because then you're like, well, now I've just demonstrated exactly what everybody is saying.
My trouble with girls isn't that they're sensitive or sexy or superficial. My trouble with girls is that they're women. And you're not listening.
You just have to acknowledge them first. You have to say that they're there, and you have to tell others. You have to be loud about it. Because if you're not, then who's going to be?